How we doing, guys? Here's a brand new vlog for you. I hope you missed me because I missed you guys. So here it goes. We're going to talk a little bit about slaying the giant. And at first you're like, oh, David and Goliath, I'm done. No, hear me out because this has really helped me in my life. I want you to think right now in your life, is there a giant right now in your life that's preventing you from inheriting what God has for you? Is there a giant standing in the way if it's finances, fear, worry, lust, relationship, things that are preventing your family from moving forward, if you're a man of the house, or wherever you are, is there a giant standing in the way? And you see, that's exactly what Goliath was doing. He was standing in the way of the army of Israel. And you see, the army of Israel, what they didn't do, they didn't look through God's eyes. They were looking through their own eyes. And that's when David came and said, you know what? I'm going to check this guy out through God's eyes. But think about it. You got this 9-foot giant with a javelin the size of Texas, and he's got this huge sword, and he's just slaying everybody. And the army's just looking at him, and they're just like, oh my gosh. Like, through our eyes, this dude is huge. He's 9 foot tall. His javelin's the size of Texas. I'm not going up against him. Is anyone else going to go up against him? I'm not going up against him. And David, this little guy with the courage because of God on his side, he goes up and he says, you know what? I can take him. Why do you think David could take him? Listen to what it says in 1 Samuel 17. He says right here, he says, you come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will hand you over to me, and I'll strike you down and cut off your head. The thing I love so much about David was he wasn't looking through his eyes. He was looking through God's eyes. And he looked at Goliath and he said, who are you? Who are you that my God can't defeat? Through God's eyes, you're an ant. You're this big. You're nothing. You've already been handed over to me. I just have to finish the job. I just have to go in, look through God's eyes and say, wow, this giant is nothing compared to God. And so my encouragement to you right now is, are you looking at this giant in your life through your eyes? And is it defeating you? Are you looking at it through God's eyes, and are you defeating it? Because honestly, guys, it comes to that point. We have to begin to look through God's eyes, just as David said. He said, you know what? God is fighting for me. God looks at this giant, and you are nothing. His word says this about it, and this is just a small ant in my way of what God has promised for me. Just like he promised for Israel. He says, this Philistine is standing in the way. This is nothing if you look through God's eyes. My encouragement to say, stop looking through your eyes when giants come. Stop looking through your eyes when struggles come. But look at those giants and struggles through God's eyes and say, God, with you, nothing can stand in my way. I'm ready to slay this giant. I'm ready to cut off its head, and I'm ready to move forward. I hope this encourages you guys today to say, you know what? No more giants in my life. If they come up in my life, I'm going to look at them through God's eyes, and nothing is impossible with God.